More on the economy and how to avoid recession. Let's bring in our power panel. E.J. Antoni, Heritage Foundation economist and senior fellow at Unleash Prosperity. Also, Judy Shelton, senior fellow at the Independent Institute and author of Good as Gold, How to Unleash the Power of Sound Money. This is indeed a true power panel. We got to start, Judy, I want to start with you. On one hand, we've got crude oil down $10. We've got yields coming down quickly. The price of eggs are down 40%. No one's talking about that, right? It's all this fear, and they've made tariffs the boogeyman. And Newt Gingrich just said it. Listen, we know the media is not going to be on the side of the administration, but I'm concerned that right now too many people are too afraid and don't know what they're afraid of.
I think, Charles, that the American people are going to keep faith with President Trump for longer than the mainstream media might predict. I think they see the greater wisdom in a transformative plan that's whole of government. But the fundamental theme is to empower individuals with economic liberty, to protect them from government overbearing bureaucracy. And I think it's going to prove very positive. But it doesn't mean that we won't see some kind of GDP numbers that reflect this transition. There's a big difference. If you have statistics that are reflecting increased government hiring of public sector workers, that is not necessarily a healthy development. You're much better off seeing these increased jobs in manufacturing, where people are actually producing goods and services. And the transformation to productive economic activity is going to be, in the end, the way to unleash new capacity and new success and new prosperity for the United States. You know,
EJ, on that note, probably the best chart I saw this week came from Apollo. They had the letter A, where we are now, and the letter B, a little bit higher, right? That shows where we could be as a nation with greater manufacturing, lower taxes and those sort of things. And the question was, getting from A to B, people are bringing up the word pain, transition, these sort of things. From your vantage point, how does it look?
I think it looks like a period of detox, a period of sobering up, Charles. Unfortunately, what we've basically been through has been an economy that just moves from sugar high to sugar high, right? And every time things started to lag, government was there to just give it another shot in the arm, like Judy and you were just talking about with all of these government hires. That certainly made the payroll numbers look really good, but it didn't do much for the real economy, for the productive private sector. In fact, there was actually 1 month right before the election where the household survey showed 700,000 additional people employed by government. Now, that did wonders for the unemployment rate, but it didn't do anything for actually improving the lot of the average American. And so, again, to you guys' point, what you were just talking about, how on earth do we get out of this? That period of detox might look like some of our official statistics not being that great, but the official statistics have been great for 4 years, and the average American can buy less today with their paycheck than they could 4 years ago. So I'm not really that concerned about what GDP looks like. I'm concerned with what can the average American actually afford? What's their standard of living? What's their cost of living? Those are the things that I want to see improved.
Judy?
Well, I agree with EJ, not surprisingly. And I think he's hit on something that President Trump has talked about. We're going from a fake economy to a real economy. And a fake economy takes care of Wall Street because you see increasing financialization. But that kind of economic activity might even generate profits and income. But what is it doing in terms of raising the standard of living for the whole population? You really want to increase the capacity of entrepreneurs, people who provide goods and services, to increase supply. That's how you help everybody, by having productive investment and productive activity. And I think it's moving from that fake economy to the real economy that is going to prove the most valuable in the end and really unleash America's innovative energy.
No, EJ, I happen to agree with all of that. And I'm really very, very excited, and I get my frustration is I'm concerned about people who miss out, people who buy into what they read in the headlines, and it's unfortunate that the establishment is really using this sort of terror campaign, and it just goes to show you that they have benefited immensely. To your point, in the last 4 years, that was the most pro-wealthy administration in history. Heck, they were paying for wealthy people's colleges. They were paying for everything for wealthy folks, and now I think the way this is working out, more people are going to get a chance at individual success and individual prosperity.
100%, Charles. And I would say if you want to ride that train to wealth and to increase prosperity, you have to be willing to put politics aside. You were just talking earlier with Speaker Gingrich about the consumer sentiment survey from University of Michigan. Well, when we actually dive into that, what we find is that there's this enormous disparity between respondents who identify as Republican and those who identify as Democrat. And the crazy thing is, among Democrat respondents, they expect economic conditions in the year ahead to be worse than they ever have been in history. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just ludicrous. And so, again, you need to be, I think, willing to put politics aside and assess these things with some level of objective reality here. And that's where you find, again, these gross disparities, and it's clearly people approaching things from a political lens and not an economic one.
Hey, real quick, EJ, how critical is the tax package to get that in there sooner rather than later?
It is an absolute necessity. It's not even an option. If they delay this too long, not only is it going to result in a massive tax increase of over $4 trillion on the middle class, but it's going to result in delays to investment as well, and that's going to hit future economic growth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a living legend in Judy Shelton and one future living legend, EJ Antoni. Thank you both very much. Really appreciate it. Good stuff.